We are in business for act number 2 of the Eric Zane Show podcast. For this day. It was an awkward moment yesterday. My pal of mine, I've known forever. I just love him to death. I was thinking about him, and he recently had started dating again after a period of no dating after a divorce. Nicest guy in the world, by the way. And he met this fantastic young lady, and they hit it off. And I hadn't yet met the young lady. So I said, I want to see how they're doing. They've been like Facebook official for like a month. And I was really happy because, my man, after it went south with the former, you just worry. So I was thinking about him on like Friday and about, hey, why don't you bring her over and we can hang out and have a couple, you and her and Diana can have a few drinks, and I can watch you have a few drinks. We can jump in the pool and maybe have a cookout or something fun like that. So then I remembered on Saturday, I go, yeah, that's right. I got to call up. So this is Saturday. Later on in the day, call him up. Hey, man, how are you? Not bad. Just want to check in. I was going to offer the invite, and I said, how are you and the little lady doing? He goes, that's funny. You should ask, Easy. The timing on this is incredible. I go, oh, okay. He says, yeah, she just broke up with me. Boy. Oh, boy. Oh, no. Like, are you fucking kidding me? He goes, yeah, just earlier today. I go, oh, my God, dude. I'm so sorry. I was really pulling for you. Guess just not meant to be. But if anybody, okay, so he's about, I don't know, I think 41, 42. He always likes a beard, but he looks good with a beard. He's bald. He shaves his head so that there's no, like, because, got male pattern baldness. He just shaves it. But this is a sexy bald man. He's about 6 foot tall, very lean and athletic build. Okay. Actually, this guy is a world-class athlete for a period of time. Not so much these days, but still stays in shape. But actually was a world-class athlete. I'm not, and that's no hyperbole. So, ladies, if that strikes any of you, or because I could say dudes, but I don't think he's gay. I'm pretty sure it's ladies. If any of you ladies who are single, if that kind of is in your, this could be great. Now, right away, I'm thinking about Linda, but you're too goddamn old. There is no way in hell that's going to work out. So you can just forget that. Sorry. There are other men I've tried to hook you up with. I don't know if I can take you on as a client, frankly. I'm kidding. You're not too old. Well, you are for him, but not too old, I have an update for you on my neighbor. This story rubs some of you the wrong way, and I didn't intend it to. But when I described to you what I'm describing to you, I could see why you would take it the wrong way. In fact, I don't think anybody has taken it. I think everybody has actually taken it the right way. I think it's me that's taking it wrong. But it's reversed because it's in my opinion a pretty negative thing that I'm figuring out. I'll just tell you. My sweet neighbor, his daughter brought home a cat. And he doesn't want any animals in the house. The guy who owns the house. But he let her keep the cat, but he doesn't want any animals in the house. So then they're like, yeah, so we're just going to let him. He's already fixed. He's got all his shots. He's been, I guess, neutered. So he's just going to roam the neighborhood, come back here to eat and sleep and get mice. And I'm like, oh, yeah, a mouser. Whatever. The kid, though, wants the cat in the house. So there's something going on there, and I don't think she's going to win that battle. So the cat is 17 weeks old. Still a kitten. And I don't know what the process is to make a cat a mouser. Someone suggested that they give the cat a dead mouse to eat so that it gets an idea of the food that it's going to be hunting, And I don't know if they know. These people have never had a pet ever in the time that I've known them. So they get the cat and they proceed to put it in a cage and put it out on the back deck. So it's got a water bowl, it's got a food bowl, and it's just there the whole fucking day. And it seems horrible. Now, I've been contemplating banging on the door saying, are you sure you're the right family to have an animal? Okay, are you sure this is appropriate? I mean, I love you, but, I mean, to me, to most people, a cat is to be either in the house doing cat things or out of the house doing cat things. It can't be in a cage doing cat things. That's not, I mean, cats, so the little fucker is on the back deck going meow, meow, meow all fucking day. And as soon as it senses that we're out, he is meowing to, hey, can you save me, please? So I'm like, oh my God. So yesterday it's on the fucking deck and everybody's over. I've got my grandkids over and they're like, Grandpa. I go, what is it, big fella? Grandpa, there's a kitty out there. I go, yeah. What is it doing, Grandpa? I go, nothing. He's in a cage. Why would a cat be in a cage, Grandpa? I go, that's a great question, son. Papa, like a few minutes later, Papa, yeah. Can we go help the kitty? Yes. Okay, can you go get the kitty, Papa? I wish I could. Maureen says, does the poor thing have shade? Yes. The animal is perpetually in shade. But it was still very, very warm out yesterday. So this is not great. This guy who runs the show over there, I look to him for wisdom, but he has no business having an animal. None. So I'm driving around yesterday because I had to go get charcoal for the cookout. Madison calls me. Dad, what is it? There is a cat on the neighbor's back deck. I go, I know that. She goes, okay, here's what's happening. You're going over there, And if they don't respond, I'm calling animal control. I said, okay. So I pull up in the driveway. I walk over, knock on the door. Dude answers. I go, permission to speak freely. I always just say that whenever I'm about to have a moment that's uncomfortable. Yeah, what's up? I go, well, the cat. He goes, oh, cat's making noise. And I go, it's not so much the cat's making noise. It's that there's a cat in a cage. We all think everybody is freaking out. It's just something's wrong with this. Oh, it's temporary. It's temporary. It's temporary. I go, I know, but now I came just short of saying, why don't you just if you're going to put it in the cage, why not take the cage and put it in the house? The laundry room, any place that's cool. What the fuck? Chris says, why is it temporary? Well, the cat is not going to be in the cage the whole time. Its life is not going to be just in a cage. According to what they said, this is temporary. So I'm getting a lot of save that cat easy. I hate this guy, says Stevie. Chris says, why is he in there in the first place? Is this the mouser? Yes. I think the idea that they said is you put it in the cage and then slowly you let it out for periods of time to let it figure out that it lives there. And I don't even know if that's right. I've not ever had a cat and made a mouser. I don't know if maybe it's the right way to do it. I don't know. Perhaps they've researched that. Couldn't tell you. So perhaps there is a method to the madness. But my God, I had a mutiny on my hands at the house. Maureen says, I think I need to send a team to acquire the poor kitten. Yeah, that's what Maureen does. She shows up at places and hijacks animals like this, and then she says terrible names, calls whoever owned the thing terrible names. She writes, it's just a baby. My God, I disagree with outdoor cats unless they live on a farm, and our barn cats and are fixed, of course. Outdoor cats have terrible lives, and how they are keeping that kitten is abuse. All right, it's unanimous here. It is unanimous about the cat. Jason says, what house? I will come get it. Stacy Bobasi and I will love it to death. Maureen says, no, that's not right. You don't make a mouser, for God's sake. They think they are going to turn it loose and it's going to come back. No, that's no life for a cat. All right. Let me handle it. I will give you an update. All right. I will follow up and I will give you an update. I won't let you down. We're getting to a point now where it's like, look, hey, I'm just role playing with you. So, about the cat, everybody's concerned about its well-being. Are you sure you're the right family for a cat? Because I think most people would agree that it seems that you are not. Maureen is the leader of Task Force N-word, who rescue animals and refer to neglectful people as horrible names. My God, that's awesome. I expect to see that cute little kitty in your arms during Patreon. Yeah, no way. I'm not I'm not bringing home another animal. No. That for sure is not happening. I'm already at capacity here. And that Adam thinks the same thing. Task Force N-word? All right. Jeremy says other quotes of things that I said I would never do and ended up doing. I'm for sure not buying a scooter. God, I love that scooter. Jason says, save the cat easy. I have the day off if you need backup. Well, look, these are my neighbors. I like these people. So, no one come over and try to give me backup. I've got it well in hand. But every member of the family was giving me, they come to me. Papa, Dad, Eric. So I'll make another call today with perhaps a little bit more urging on my part. You see, you guys are all like, you're not putting yourself in my shoes. You're just saying, yeah, go get it. Yeah, just fucking do this. You got to understand, this is my neighbor, my next door neighbor. There's a way to finesse this. And the way you idiots are suggesting is not finessing it. It's bullshit. Have you ever heard of the term stolen valor? Totally different topic now. When people who claim that they're in the military, but they're not. In some cases, it might be somebody who could just be like a low-level member of the military, and then they end their time. But when they get out, they like telling everybody that they were like a 5-star general. There's a guy in the news who's doing that exact thing. He's in Michigan. I believe he's in Michigan. Yes, he's in Michigan. And he runs a charity that provides service dogs for veterans. And I think he has provided service dogs for veterans, like legit, but he's also been lying to everybody about his credentials in the military. And that's a big deal. That's a great way to get your fucking ass kicked. Let's check out what this guy is doing according to Lansing TV station WLNS.
Combat deployments and military promotions are not lining up with the records of the founder of the Mid-Michigan Veterans Organization. It is our top story tonight at 11. Thank you for joining us. I'm Sherry Jones.
And I'm Siobhan Klepfer. The founder of a Livingston County Veterans Service Dog Organization claimed a career in the U.S. Air Force filled with deployments and tactical training.
However, an extensive 6 News investigation has uncovered records that tell a much different story.
Josh Sanchez joins us now to unpack part 1 of this report. Josh?
Sherry, Siobhan, I first met Kirk Lanham, the founder of Veteran Service Dogs Organization.
Hey, whatever happened to the guy who played Pedro in Napoleon Dynamite?
Back in 2021. Now, while his volunteers have connected vets to critical service dogs, our investigations team found that the stories and uniforms that Lanham would wear did not line up with his service record.
Obviously, you know, in the military, you never leave your brother behind. You always have to help, right? So basically, we saw a need.
This is Kirk Lanham, founder of Veteran Service Dogs Organization in Osceola Township in 2021. The volunteers of the organization would help connect veterans with dogs and train them both to create a bond between human and canine. Promoting the nonprofit, multiple volunteers say Lanham would appear in an Air Force uniform, with some photos obtained by 6 News showing him wearing a 1-star or 2-star general rank. He made that history public in a Hamburg Township meeting back in April 2023.
Good afternoon. My name is Brigadier General Kirk Lanham. I am 34 years on paper with the United States Air Force and 22 years of active combat, 318 deployments.
However, documents shared with the 6 News Investigates team reveal a different service history, one that lasts less than 2 years, with Lanham separating from the Air Force as an Airman Basic or E1.
So he's a total loser 2 years, and he's telling everybody he's a fucking brigadier general.
An enlisted rank, not one of an officer. Edgar Jones was one of those volunteers who says his suspicions grew in recent months. Earlier this week, we showed him the one-page service record we got from the National Personnel Record Center of the National Archives.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Jones says Lanham claims that the 2-star promotion came from meeting with the Secretary of the Navy, Carlos Del Toro.
He made a lot of claims, having to leave the country or having to meet at the Pentagon or some other location with a person he would refer to as Carlos. Turned out to be the Secretary of the Navy.
In a statement, a spokesperson for the Department of the Navy says the branch did not have any records showing Lanham was in the Navy, nor records of him meeting with senior Navy leadership. Lanham agreed to meet with us this week, but hours before our interview, he said he had to cancel because he was helping a veteran in crisis. At the organization's facility in Osceola Township, just outside of Howell, we rang the doorbell that asked us to leave a message. Walking around the facility, we noticed security cameras following us, as well as garage doors slightly open. When I tried to leave a message, here's what our team heard.
We were hoping to talk with you. I was hoping to catch up since the last time we talked was...
Property now. You have been trespassed. The police have been called.
Leave this property now. You have been trespassed. The police have been called.
Along with dogs barking.
Vote for Pedro.
And someone trying to keep them quiet. Our team tried to call and text Lanham and even emailed our questions, but did not hear back. Well, Sherry Siobhan, in the military and veteran community, there's a tradition called the challenge coin, which is considered a token of friendship or a job well done. And Edgar Jones gave me his Air Force Special Operations Command coin that Landon gave to him. And he tells us that now, after finding everything out, it's not worth the medal it's made of.
Josh, in your investigation, did you learn anything more about Lanham?
Well, we have a lot more to this investigation. That's why we have it on WLNS.com. And we also found that there was a federal conviction in Lanham's record.
What does this mean for the Veteran Service Dogs organization?
There's a lot more developing to this story, and our team is looking into that. So,
yeah, at this point, all we got is in the printed article, there was a lot more about, because at this point, all they're saying on the story is that he's lying about his service. But so what? I mean, that's terrible. But if you look on the body of the story, Lanham had organizational volunteers sorting his files. He had been pleading poverty in previous months, telling volunteers it was unclear if the organization could pay the phone bill or other utilities. Shortly thereafter, extravagant new purchases started. A new security camera system was installed. It had facial recognition and was paid for by the U.S. Department of Defense. Jones was told by Lanham. New bulletproof doors were paid for, lawn equipment, a camper trailer, a Hyundai Palisades, all of it, Lanham told a more and more concerned Jones, the result of grants and the generosity of the Department of Defense. Wow. So now they're starting to think that maybe there's some unscrupulous activity that affects the dollars and cents. Tyler says, quote, "We were suspicious when we saw a Spirit Halloween tag on his supposed uniform." Let's see. Yeah, I think that this is the type of thing that if somebody's lying about their service, that's probably not the only thing that he's lying about. Very interesting. I'm sure there'll be more to this. My God. Yeah, that's a good way to get your ass beat. An update on the apparently kid. Remember that little fella like 10 years ago with he's a little ginger at the fair? And he's doing the old, apparently, that kid was immensely popular. Here the kid is 10 years later. There's an update.
This scared me half to death.
Hold on.
10 years ago, this scared me half to death.
That's him.
10 years ago, WNEP introduced the world to a legend right here. Apparently, I've never been on live television before.
And apparently, I've never been on live television before.
Noah Ritter.
There he is now.
Apparently.
He looks like Rocky from the movie Mask, except Rocky was better looking.
Kid
My grandpa gives me the remote every time we watch the Powerball.
is now 15 years old.
And masturbating all the time.
Noah, how do you feel saying that again 10 years later?
Feels pretty good. I feel nostalgic about it. Makes me reminisce about being here in this exact spot 10 years ago.
And that's right. A decade later, Noah is still coming with his grandpa Jack to the same Wayne County fair that made him famous.
And again, I wouldn't trade my buddy for the world.
Grandpa Jack was
Where's your mom, Cher?
deeply involved with Noah's upbringing and faithfully stuck by Noah's side every step of his wild journey.
Everybody say hello to Grandpa Jack. Yeah.
He stayed with us when he was first born, and I used to keep him on my lap. I read to him.
And it turns
I need the reporter to ask the question, well, what happened to his mom and dad?
out that Noah's grandparents have been deeply connected to the fair. Grandpa Jack's late wife worked for Holly Diner, a food vendor that proudly serves meals every year at the fair.
Yeah, she used to work for them years ago as a waitress.
Not needed for the story. It's like Maureen wrote it.
Grandpa Jack was involved with the fair since his childhood, too.
Yes, when I was a kid, I used to show cattle here at the fair. That's why I brought him here, because I came here as a kid, and I said, well, we'll go up to the fair, and I'll show you the animals and stuff,
Noah's exposure from his viral interview at the fair led him straight to Hollywood. He became close friends with Ellen DeGeneres, appearing off.
Yeah, Ellen
This
probably.
scared me half to death.
Shit, I just fucked it up. Ellen probably wanted to punch him in the face. Isn't that? She's like totally mean to everybody.
Ellen DeGeneres, appearing often as a guest on her show.
A lot of times we were in the dressing room at Ellen's. A lot of the stars, like Jennifer Garner and stuff like that, they'd come to our dressing room just to meet Noah.
Noah and his grandpa met many other Hollywood stars and important figures.
Chris Pratt, Bill Clinton, Sofia Vergara, Jim Carrey,
Bill Clinton.
Bryce Dallas
Clinton's like, yeah, we're going to take it to Epstein Island.
Howard, a lot of people.
Ariana Grande.
Almost forgot about her. I met her.
Almost forgot about her. Oh my God. And he was even cast as a judge on ABC's reality TV show, The Toy Box.
Okay, so Hollywood, TV, and film, they're all sinking their claws into him. It's amazing he didn't wind up like dead or on drugs.
Similar to Shark Tank, where child judges tested and voted on new toy inventions presented in front of them.
He had to go to school out there for 4 hours, right? And then he worked an 8-hour day shooting the show,
That's a rough schedule.
Yeah, he had a...
It sounds horrible. Why would you let him do that?
An 8-year-old. Noah continues to share his adventures alongside his grandpa on the internet.
He keeps me young. Well, we go to movies all the time.
Whenever a new movie comes out, we like to review it, post it on my YouTube channel. Now I'm juggling YouTube,
And my balls.
school, football, track, a bunch of other stuff. I'm going into my sophomore year. This scared me.
Cut your fucking hair. You look ridiculous. Jesus.
Post it on my YouTube channel. Getting ready to drive.
Noah may be growing old enough to get his driver's license, but he will never outgrow the Wayne County Fair that seems to course through the veins of his family.
Coming here, enjoying the rides, enjoying the food, seeing all the animals and stuff like that.
Whatever.
So yeah, I think I'll come here every year when they have it. I'll keep the streak going.
Jeremy Lewan, Newswatch 16.
Apparently, back in Wayne County.
Oh, Jesus. So awkward. DJ says, track? Yeah, he might be like the shot putter. Maybe like the hammer throw. Bob says he looks like the standard for Northeast Pennsylvania. Yeah, for sure. I've recently traveled through there. A lot of mingers in that part of the country. David says asshole of the day for sure. Yeah, I don't think we can call him the asshole of the day. I don't think he's done anything wrong. Maybe you're saying that about Grandpa? I don't know. I can't say that either. He seemed like too sweet of a guy. Chris says something about PA and great storytelling. What am I missing there? I'm missing something there. All right. Got another great story I want to get to. Actually, before I do that, I am way behind on sponsorship announcements, and that's not great. Racing this weekend at Berlin. I'll be there, and I want you there. Buy a ticket, berlinraceway.com. They're $14. I will actually be at the races on Saturday. It's going to be great. Buy your tickets. Let me know that you bought the tickets. We all sit together. We do this every few weeks. I want you to be part of my group. It's a group outing. $14 when you buy them in advance at berlinraceway.com. The kids are free, 15 and under, and the parking is free. I visited Andy at the King's Room Barbershop in Caledonia over the weekend. Thank you so much for the fantastic haircut. You need to get your haircut at King's Room Barbershop. If you're a dude or you're a chick who likes short hair, get your haircut at King's Room Barbershop. A haircut fit for a king or a queen. Kingsroom.net is their website. 3 locations, as I mentioned, Caledonia, also Wyoming, and Northland Drive. Frank Fuss invites you to check him out online. You've heard me talk about getting health care if you don't have it, or a life insurance policy. Specifically a life insurance policy. I just cannot imagine going day to day without spending a few bucks a month on a life insurance policy. The peace of mind that it gives you is remarkable, and everybody should do it. Head over to buyinsurancehere.com and get the details about how to get into a life insurance policy. Please mention me. When you go to buyinsurancehere.com, that's basically a form filling out your information, who you are, how to reach you. Frank, Frank takes care of the rest. He is a licensed independent insurance agent / broker. Get started with a life insurance policy to take care of you and or your family. Don't be caught flat-footed. If something terrible happens to you, you're going to be putting your family in the lurch. Don't do that. Peace of mind of a life insurance policy is all you need. Also, Irvine's Auto Repair, Grand Rapids Hybrid and EV. Servicing all makes and models, including EVs and hybrids. ervines.com. That's ervines.com. Their number is 616-532-6600. That's 616-532-6600. Irvines.com. Don't just take my word for it. Check out their amazing reviews. They are awesome over there at Irvines. Love them so much. Right in the middle of Grand Rapids, Michigan. You can't miss them. If you're in the area, take your car to Irvines. It's a trusted place to get your vehicle repaired. So some lady was driving around, and I should say some guy and his wife or girlfriend were driving around. They got some food. They went driving through a neighborhood, and it's a shortcut to get away from the roundabout. Some old lady who lives in the neighborhood got them to stop, and then all hell broke loose. Apparently, the old folks that live in this neighborhood, they don't like people driving through their little senior living neighborhood or something like that. So this crazy bitch took matters into her own hands. God, I love this story. It's fantastic. Let's get into it.
Probably witnessed it yourself or even done it, the ever-brazen brake check. But what happened next on Grand Rapids Northwest side recently went way beyond that, and cameras documented every bizarre moment.
Target 8 investigator Susan Samples
Yes.
tracked down both drivers and a psychologist who deconstructed the drama.
Psychologist.
If you thought the brake check was bad.
Wait, what, you chicken? What do you want?
Hey,
you
get
want
on my
me
car.
up, dumb
Oh, she got, okay. This old-ass, saggy-tittied whore comes up to the window and says, "What are you, chicken?" And then she calls her a dumb bitch and hits the chick in the passenger seat across the face.
The brake check was bad.
Wait, what, you chicken? What do you want?
Hey,
you
get
want
on my
me
car.
up, dumb What the was that?
Good question. I mean, what were you thinking at that moment, though? But first, to set the scene, on a mid-July Saturday, Michael Wynn and his fiancée had...
Okay, so there you go. This guy right here, Short Round, is driving his car, and he's the one who was saying, hey, what the fuck? Holy shit.
And his fiancée had grabbed takeout sushi after a stressful day and were heading home through the Marsh Ridge Senior Community off Lake Michigan Drive west of Collindale.
It's a shortcut to our house. It's a lot safer instead of
shit, when he said shortcut, I thought he was going to say short round.
Going on this roundabout.
What Wynn said he didn't know, drivers cutting through the private complex.
His name is Wynn. It's probably spelled Nguyen. You know, Wynn.
To avoid a nearby roundabout is a consistent problem. And Wynn was about to encounter one angry and unapologetic resident.
She didn't stop at the stop sign. She just pulled out in front of us. So we tried slowing down just a bit, but she was upset how close.
His name really is spelled Nguyen.
We were.
When I pulled out here, they were boom right on my butt. You're darn right, I'm gonna brake check them.
But Kalinda Jacobs didn't stop there.
When we honked at her.
Okay, so she runs the stop sign to get in front of Short Round, and they keep going, and they get right up behind her, and then she says, yeah, I'm gonna brake check you. So this old chick, she does not fuck around.
My butt. You're darn right, I'm gonna brake check them.
But Kalinda Jacobs didn't stop there.
When we honked at her to keep moving forward, she got out of her car.
Tesla wheel cameras don't record audio, but Wynn recalled.
She was yelling at me for speeding behind her, that I was tailgating her the entire time she was driving, which was for about 2 seconds.
Wynn admits he was speeding, going 18 or so, he said, in a 10-mile-per-hour zone. And
10-mile-an-hour zone? Why would you cut through there if the speed limit is 10?
And by this point, he was yelling.
And by the way, also, who says, oh, yeah, the roundabout's too difficult, so I'm going to drive through a neighborhood. What fucking moron cannot figure out a roundabout? I'm starting to side with this old bitch here.
What, you chicken? What?
Hey,
you
get on my car.
Dumb. At that
dumb bitch.
moment, I'm thinking, oh, here they got a Tesla, they got this, they're videotaping everything, they think their don't stink, and they know all the rules and
yeah, that's the way we feel about free beer
laws, and they don't.
This woman strikes me as a woman who used to hang out backstage at concert venues and get porked by entire bands at one time in her life. She strikes me as that type.
Disrespectful.
But you got out of your car, and you went around and you reached into their car and slapped that woman. There is no defending that.
No.
Yeah, there is. She's fine.
Well, no, I'm not trying to defend it. I know I did wrong. But
I like her.
What she did was wrong also.
Wynn said he stopped recording on his cell phone after the slap because he needed his phone to dial 911. He did acknowledge he and his fiancée both exited their car after the slap, and he said when Jacobs continued to lunge, his fiancée did push Jacobs to defend herself.
Do I think mistakes were made in this?
Okay, so now you turn to the local expert who's going to tell you about what you need to do.
Altercation? Yeah, absolutely.
I don't think there's any mistakes made. I think this is fucking perfect. Every bit of this is excellent, and I'm happy it happened.
And that goes for both parties, said Ryan Martin, who researches and writes on anger. Though Jacobs was clearly the aggressor, and it's easy to Monday.
Tell you what, if I'm Short Round and that angry chick gets out, I'm like, I'm sorry, ma'am. My fault. I'm backing right the fuck down. I will de-escalate the shit out of this because she looks like she's ready to fucking kill him.
Day morning quarterback, Martin said Wynn and his fiancée could have just not engaged, not rolled down any windows.
Just give them nothing in return. Just put your car in reverse, back away, go a different direction, whatever it takes to just...
That would not have worked with this chick. She would have hunted them down, okay? She'd have been like, I'm coming to get you, Charlie.
get away from that situation.
Especially because you never know. Road rage shootings, said Martin, are steadily increasing. In the last decade or so in West Michigan, 4 people were killed in 3 roadside confrontations. Martin advises drivers to stick to the mission, getting from point A to point B safely and, if possible, on time.
No, that's a hard thing to remember in the moment. And so one of the goals for people has to be to figure out, how do you, in the moment.
Okay, I can't concentrate because of the vocal fry.
Find that pause button.
Martin suggests you actually practice in your mind. Imagine a tense driving situation and what you would do to de-escalate it. Michael Wynn says, looking back, he should have remained calm.
I think if I did that or spoke to her more
Hey, Indy, I should have stayed calm.
respectfully, maybe it wouldn't have escalated, but I was yelling at her that
The fact that he's wearing the baseball hat like Short Round is probably the most perfect part of the story.
this is crazy and I didn't want our sushi to go bad, you know.
Kalinda Jacobs was less introspective.
I wouldn't even call it a slap, but that's what she wants to say. She's a drama queen.
This bitch is perfect.
Jacobs has been charged with misdemeanor assault, and while it's highly unlikely she would ever face jail time, the charge does carry up to 93 days in jail and or a $500 fine. In Grand Rapids, I'm Target 8 investigator Susan Samples.
That's fine. By the way, Susan is looking stunning again. Oh my God. What a knockout. Bob says, first of all, Tyler says, Dr. Jones, save me from this angry zombie. Bob says, nah, cunty Karen like that. You got to just start doing a big smoky burnout. Young Adam Schwab says that old lady there did the bands and the road crew. Yeah, she had that type of air about her. Big tough girl, you know? She's the type of woman who, back in the day, she'd start fights, and then the husband would be like, oh, God, not again. And then he'd have to go get involved, and he gets his ass beat. Jeremy says the more that old lady talks, the hotter Easy thinks she is. We all just know he's into older women. This is true. But I can't say that I was attracted to that grandma. It's too much. You know, I mean, she's in her 70s. No, I'm not interested in that. I just liked her style. Wow. Speaking of old, New York City's oldest person just turned 112 years old. Let's hear from her, because she has to tell us, every time you have someone this old, you have to ask them, what is the secret to your longevity? Like they know, you know? It's the dumbest question ever. There isn't anyone who's lived to a very old age that says, yeah, I figured it out. This is what worked for me. It's like there's no correlation. You're just basically reciting your stupid habits. It doesn't mean that that's why you've been alive for that long. But that's not stopping this woman who's 112 from telling us what the secret is. And she looks like she's fucked up here because she's in a chair, but she's actually has a pretty sound mind. There she is getting wheeled around. She's
married, no children.
Don't marry, no children. You hear that, Ashley? Hurricane Ashley, you could live to be 112.
No marriage and no children. Of 5, I'm the only one living.
Okay, so she's got 4 siblings. They're all dead. She's got some sass to her. There's 5. I'm the only one living.
I worked for the MTA 39 years.
Well, that's not very long in the grand scheme of things. You work for mass transit for 39 years. Well, that's part of your life. What'd you do for the rest of it?
39 years with the MTA.
That's not impressive.
I traveled a lot. Italy. France. France.
These are for all the wars she served in. She probably boned Mussolini.
Switzerland. I'm a happy person. But things happen that don't make me happy.
Like black people. All right. So 112. Let's do some math here. It's 2024, and she's 112. That means, I think, she was born in 1912. So that means when the atomic bomb was dropped, she was in her fucking mid-30s. God damn. Jeremy says 112. She doesn't look a day over 130. Maureen says Hurricane Ashley has already been married once. Yeah, I forgot about that. My God. I cannot imagine. I'm always intrigued by people who've lived a long time. The opposite of that is Steve McMichael. This is one of the most horrible things I think I've ever seen. Steve McMichael, his name was Mongo. Like when he played football for the Bears, he was known as Mongo. Steve Mongo McMichael. The baddest of the bad. Part of that championship team that won the Super Bowl in the 1980s, 85 Bears. He was like one of the heart of the defenses. Or one of the hearts of the defense. Legendary. Then he started doing like pro wrestling and shit back in the day. And then one day he woke up in 2021 and he wasn't feeling very well. He has that debilitating disease, ALS, Lou Gehrig's. Thing about Lou Gehrig's disease is it's so devastating. It makes people become like a shell of what they once were. It's horrible. This is Mongo McMichael right here. At the epitome of health at a young age. Here he is a little later in life. And there's a picture of him in his bed. We'll get to that in a second. Well, he was inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame over the weekend. I mean, he was a badass player. But they had like the induction ceremony going on. And they put like a camera up in front of him to show the bedside induction. And so the video starts with everybody in Canton, Ohio. And then on the big screen in Canton, Ohio, they've got they bring in the scene from his bedside, wherever he lives. And all of his old teammates are standing around him and his wife who takes care of him. God damn, this is rough. This is Mongo McMichael's induction into the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
Ladies and gentlemen, to unveil Steve McMichael's bust at his home in Chicago, Illinois, is his wife, Misty, and former NFL teammates.
Oh, no. Come on. Come on.
You gotta see your bust, baby. You ready?
It's going to be right here. Mace, help me.
Okay. Now I don't know if the lights are on and no one's home. Maybe his thoughts are clear. I don't know. But this might be one of the most awkward things I have ever seen in my entire fucking life. Why wouldn't you'd think that they would like protect his what am I looking for here? It just seems like it's a little bit too much to have him there with his mouth open and him staring off into the wild blue yonder. She has to grab his head and turn it towards the bust in order to see it.
Your bust. You got to see your bust, baby. You ready? It's going to be right here. Mace, help me. Pull it down. Let's go. Oh.
If he cracked a smile, maybe.
I told him just make sure you have hair.
Hall of Famer.
Isn't that beautiful?
That's no restoration. Wait.
That's amazing. That's you, baby. Forever.
I don't know, man. Adam says the word I'm looking for is dignity. Yes, that's exactly what I was looking for. He says this does not have good optics. Tyler says, can you imagine if he can only hear at this point and he thinks everyone is cheering him on to the grave? Oh, good boy. Even worse, with that bust of his head when he's healthy, can you imagine if somebody walked in and Mrs. McMichael was sitting on the bronze face? Jeremy says it's so devastating to think that this guy was at peak physical fitness and now he's like this. I was never even close to peak fitness. What's going to happen to me? Well, that depends. If you get ALS, that is, by the way, that ice bucket challenge, what a crock of shit that was. You know how much money was raised with the ice bucket challenge? Literally hundreds of millions of dollars. And we still have Steve Gleason's like this and Mongo McMichael looking like that. Come on. You might as well just announce that the rich people that run the organization embezzled it all and used it for personal gain. Chris says, quote, I'm not donating, but I'm getting cold water dumped on me. So silly, LOL. Well, I don't know how silly it was because it did raise a ton of money. I mean, you know, it gets to be a viral thing. But surely you could have made some advances. If you don't make any advances, you have to say that. Hundreds of millions were raised and and nothing is done. My God. Chris says, I thought it was donate or get water dumped on you. I don't even know anymore. My favorite thing was when 50 Cent did the deal with trying to get Floyd Mayweather to like read a book or something. Mayweather ice bucket. I better not play it. He says the N-word. I don't want to get in trouble. Go back and watch it on your own, I guess. That's what I'm telling you. Coming up this week, we will have a Big Fraud Wednesday. I'm excited about it. It will kick off with Who Are These Free Beers? Episode, I think, number 23. And two things I'm sure we're going to park on. We're going to park on last week, Hot Wings did a What a Hot Wings Thinks, that there's so many different layers to the problems in this thing, and it's another thing where Hot Wings thinks, hey, at the time you probably thought it was a good idea to do a hot take about, when in reality, like most of them, it's trite, pointless, and silly, and no one gives a shit about. I will say that it backfired hilariously, and I will give credit where it's due. He was made to squirm by our pal, the Burn King, to his credit. And I thought that was spectacular. So, two things. The bad being the what Hot Wings thinks. The good, they called him out on it, which was hilarious. I like that. And just the overall vibe of it sucks. I also have a clip where more than one person has suggested to me that the things that have been said recently on this show may have gotten to the Burn King. He might have tipped his hand a little bit. I'm not so sure. I'll play you the clip in question of Free Beer where two people, actually, I said more than one, it was two, said, EZ, is he talking about you? Is he referring to what you said about him on your show? And I'm like, well, I guess it's possible. But Greg keeps pretty buttoned up about these things. I don't think he would ever give me the satisfaction of knowing that I'm aware of him, referencing something I said on this show. That will be coming up on Thursday. All right. Let's see. What else I have on today's Patreon, I have a guy who was shopping at a store somewhere in Michigan, and he saw an 87-year-old grandma get robbed, purse snatching. And what this guy does is fantastic, springing into action in an amazing way. And I can't wait to share it with you. So we'll get to that as well. All right. Before we get to the asshole of the day, I have some more sponsors that I'd like to mention who keep my world spinning around appropriately. They start with Joe Martinez from A&E Heating and Cooling, 616-516-8579. If you have any issues with your AC or your furnace, please call Joe, 616-516-8579. They can help you out with any need. Maybe it's installing a brand new system. Keep Joe in mind, 616-516-8579. Buy now, refinance later. The Mario Flores Lakeshore team of Van Dyke Mortgage. By the way, I'm hearing that very soon the feds are going to drop the rate. That's coming. That's the start. 231-332-6505 for the Mario Flores Lakeshore team of Van Dyke Mortgage. This is one of my sponsors who you can take advantage of from anywhere in the U.S. I have a handful of those. I got Tag Accounting, Frank Fuss, My Policy Shop Insurance, the Mario Flores Lakeshore team of Van Dyke Mortgage, 231-332-6505. Call today. Ask about getting started on getting pre-approved with a mortgage to buy a home that you're thinking about right now. And then finally, Rick from TC Paintball. Rick was going to join me today, but he had a personal thing he had to take care of. So best wishes to him as he's doing that. What a time we had with Rick last week with that story. But if you want to book an event at Michigan's premier paintball facility, check out TC Paintball online at tcpaintballgr.com and book an event today for your pals at work, maybe some team building, maybe a bachelor party, maybe the neighborhood kids want to get together, you or your bro friends, guys night out. Do it with TC Paintball online at tcpaintballgr.com. Asshole of the day. Your suggestions based on the things we've talked about today. I think I know who it's going to be. That's unfortunate because, well, I love my neighbor. But I have to agree with you. This is a bad decision that's being made right now with this kitty cat next door. By the way, it rained today. I wonder if the cat was like sitting there in the rain. Sorry, I told you. Brought to you by TC Paintball, online at tcpaintballgr.com. Nick says, the Flanders next door. Maureen says, a whole neighbor. Jason says kitten torturer. Jeremy says AOTD neighbor. Bob says AOTD kitten hating neighbor. Thank you for being here. You guys are great. Awesome audience as always. Till next time, thank you. And I'll talk to you on Patreon coming up in just a bit. Try it for 7 days free. Patreon.com/Eric Zane. Till then, have a good one and bye-bye.